It's been 11 years now. March 4th, 2009. The date you go in and the date you come home, you'll never forget those days.
The day I was arrested was the day I found out I was like 4 weeks pregnant. You think your life's over and then someone tells you you're pregnant and it's just kind of, it's a lot. But it's the best thing that could have ever happened to me, all of it.
Coming home, it's just a crazy reality. You've been constricted to this small area for such a long time, constantly kind of being told and through the messaging of the system that you're less than, and it's really difficult to separate from that. I'm Aedan Macdonald, and I'm the founder and program manager of Justice Through Code. Justice Through Code is the semester-long coding and interpersonal skills intensive for the formerly incarcerated. I think it's really telling to think about the statistics. About 4 years after release from incarceration, 75% of people will be rearrested. Single most important predictor of recidivism is unemployment, but yet people can't get jobs.
It's very difficult just completely starting over. The excitement of being free, but then the reality of not being prepared. That things that changed rapidly in just the few short years that I was away. And when you're incarcerated, everything is stripped from you. Like, you're no longer who you are. And then when you come home, you're trying to be just be a person again.
I mean, I can speak to my personal experience. I was incarcerated in federal prison for close to 4 years. When I returned home, I went to a halfway house in Connecticut. And for me, it was very difficult to get a job. A year after release from incarceration, 75% of people will be unemployed. When you look at that and think about the statistics that for the bottom 10% of earners in this country, their children are approximately 20 times more likely to end up incarcerated in their lifetimes than the top 10% of earners. Not only is it impossible to get a job, in many ways, because of the way that we treat people that have returned home from prison, these young children don't have a chance as well.
There's definitely a fear, like, all right, so now I'm coming out of prison, who's gonna hire me? I remember looking up different careers and all of these requirements, like, how am I gonna take care of this little girl that I fought for? Like, how am I gonna be able to provide her the life that she deserves? Someone told me about the Justice Through Code coding program, and I didn't have experience, but I always wanted to learn it, but it was just kind of like a big overwhelming thing. Like, where do you even start?
No, we're gonna have fun with this one though. Sharpen your skills.
Why coding? Technology and coding is this great equalizer. The industry cares more about your skills than your specific background.
Self-taught bikes is going to be equal to an empty list.
Excellent.
I really enjoy figuring out the problem, feeling of getting something right.
This time was a lot smoother. We went through that pretty quick.
It was. You guys breezed right through it.
You write a few lines of code, you test it out, and something breaks, and then you gotta kind of figure out how to like solve it and then do this and do that, and you have like a picture in your head of what you want something to look like. It's just an amazing feeling of accomplishment.
It's kind of hard to describe because unless you code, it's almost like you can't really understand the feeling. What's up? It's Thursday, man. Last day of class for the week, you know? Trying to get everybody hyped, man, you know?
Well, let's say I get stuck. You know, like what will be your next step?
Look, your computer is not going to explode if you make an error. And it's good to make an error so you can understand how to fix the error. Because since you're going to have so many errors, why not know how to fix them?
The code doesn't know I've been to prison. The code just knows I'm a software engineer and that I am going to use it to create something.
You want to play the game I made with me?
Yes.
See, look, I programmed it, so you type your name here.
Now, if I'm faced with a problem, I know how to break it down into small pieces. It's just kind of like rewired my whole brain and how I look at everything in life.
Which square do you want?
This one.
You won!
The tech industry has a responsibility to build inclusive technology. And in order to do that, you need to have people from all walks of life.
At least where a person who's formerly incarcerated can apply without having to worry.
This one I mean.
Can I have a hug, please?
What can you hold?
I want her to look at me one day and see all that I've accomplished, where I came from, and what I'm doing in my life and how successful I am. And that's what's behind everything I do every day. I'm definitely gonna teach her early though.
It's really exciting to see that our students will be a part of that work to shape our future, and that they'll be able to contribute to us living in a more equitable world.
We're rewriting the code. We're rewriting the code.